Day especially, when you had yourself, Premla ma'am. I remember, madam, you said in Horlicks, you played daughter to Shantakumari ma'am. And I remember your Lifebuoy ad also ma'am. So really, it was so enjoyable, all my memories. And Lakshmi Rani ma'am, we will never forget your cultural activities, your dance numbers, that Radha and Krishna numbers, so beautiful they were. Then we are all forgetting our sirs here. Sir, Shani sir, Narayan sir, the Hindi I include because of you only. And Veerati sir, sir left. Sir, Veerati sir, you also sir, used to scare us. Used to say, if you don't draw properly, I will turn you into a cat or a mouse. So it was so enjoyable in class also. We used to sit around that yellow table. We used to sit around, and then we used to throw small pieces of paper just when you were distracted from this class. So really so enjoyable. All my memories from the school are so enjoyable. I could never meet anybody like you teachers. And then Sharani ma'am, when we came to 11th, 12th class, we were all so scared of you. Used to catch us from the library. Some students used to hide behind the library wardrobes. Used to catch them by ear and drag them out, I remember. And to the ma'am, we could never forget your science, really so awesome. And then not to forget Malaya sir, and physics sir, Lakshmana sir, and PT sir, Shivana sir, ma'am, yoga ma'am. Yoga we used to dread, I don't know why, it is so useful now. I remember we are so proud we had yoga in those days because we used to go after lunch period, I think we used to sleep off, especially in that shavasana. I remember. Savitri ma'am and Kamala ma'am, we used to enjoy your labs also. We always seeing it together always, so you were like friendship, it's like that, we learned from you what friendship is, always together, I remember. Nanna, especially you, like Janaki, Nanna, and other sports personalities, DN, like we used to play Coco and all. She used to dominate everyone, even the boys. So I remember we used to play those after every class we used to play outside. Chat, complain something. 4 pillows, yeah, 4 pillows. We used to play, it was so awesome. And then I remember Sanjeev was always studious. We had a running race. We were running in 2 tracks. So my leg came in front and then in front, I don't know whether they remember or not. He had tried that campaign, Chitrani Mujhe Gila Diya. So sorry to tell everyone. So it just goes on, each and everything. I remember the fancy dress competition, especially for Veena, I remember. Veena was the pride of everyone, I mean the envy of everyone, because she was the Onida team. With that thing, you know, what is that? Some alien, really, it goes on and on. I don't know where I can stop. So, Subhash, you represented your brother. So good to see you. And everyone else, I'm sorry I could not recognize all the faces, especially with the boys. So, I hope I didn't miss anything. Thank you, Vishnu, TN, for arranging this. It's really awesome to come here.
Sirs and students. Fellow student. So, I had the privilege of studying in 3 KVs. Started in KV Golconda in 76. The first thing I remember is I hadn't got in the first list because my father didn't have enough transfers. So he came home and told my mother that he hasn't got a seat. I didn't understand what a seat was. I told him, why don't I take one of the chairs from here and put it in the school and start studying. Yeah, but I squeezed in, and it was really nice. Folk who joined with me in first class, one of the guys, he was there with us till class 3. Nanda might remember one M. Srikanth. So he was with me when I did my BTech at IIT Kanpur. He was my roommate, and we still meet. We are 45-year-olds now, and we have a list, KV Golconda, and coincidentally both my children studied in KV number 2 Golconda. So they are also part of that WhatsApp group. So is my wife. She had studied in KV Golconda, and her brother too. So 6 of us, and just to complete. Yeah. So we call it KV Golconda. We have added his wife also just to make sure that she doesn't feel left out.
Hope you have not changed the surname.
So when I moved from KV Golconda to KV GCF Estate Jabalpur, it was a big cultural shock for me. Till class 8, we had done social studies in Hindi. And it was not easy for us because there were a lot of technical terms in Hindi which we had never heard. And we used to find it difficult to remember them. So when we moved to 9th, we were relieved that the words we were seeing are the ones we usually see in the newspapers. But then 4 months later, my father got transferred to Jabalpur, where everybody was studying again in Hindi. And the teachers also would teach, somebody was pointing out, every subject in Hindi, maybe because the students could understand better. At this point, I can relate to it. But it was a big culture shock, and the rapport which we used to have with the teachers here was incredible. In the north, it used to be kind of, teachers were considered menacing. They were never thought to be your advisors or mentors. It was much more affectionate here, and we missed it. We moved further north to Ghaziabad near Delhi, and I think things only got a little worse. But by then, we had learned to fend for ourselves. So that was one of the things which we learned in KV. There wasn't much homework ever, but because of that, I think we didn't dread studying. It was not like a chore, sitting down every day and finishing the loads of homework which kids get today. It didn't happen at that point, and all of us enjoyed doing it. So, although we took up science and subsequently engineering, our interest in humanities and languages remained. And I think a large measure of that interest goes to, the credit for that interest goes to the teachers who made sure that these were not dead subjects which had to be marked up, but something which you had to imbibe and relate with what is happening in day-to-day life. So that is something for which I would remain eternally indebted. And that was, I think, a dimension which people who didn't attend KV missed out. They were not as well-rounded as some of us were. I think that's something we should be very proud to claim after having attended KVs. And I think the credit obviously goes to all the teachers there. It's something which all of us should feel very indebted for. So I have been back in Hyderabad for now this is my 12th year. After my BTech, I did an MTech in communications engineering, and then I started working in the electronics telecommunications industry. So today I work for a company called Golconda that makes chips for cell phones. So most of you must be using cell phones enabled by Golconda's chips. I think I've had a good life and a very privileged schooling. Today, people pay a lot of money to go to schools like, the private schools in Hyderabad. But the quality of teachers they get, in my opinion, is nowhere in comparison to the ones we had and even have today in KV. The money the government invest in the training and the selection process, which makes sure that only the best enter and build their careers with them. That's something which is incredible, which none of the private schools can match. That's I think something I am extremely proud of. I can go on and on, but I need to let the others also speak. So one last thing, I'd like to thank TN, Vishnu, in particular for all the arrangements they made to make this happen. Srikanth for making sure that as many teachers as we could gathered here. This is a very memorable day for me. I'm sure it is so for all of you. Thank you everyone. Thank you teachers.
Good afternoon everyone. Respect teachers and friends, respect sirs. In fact, I joined KVG somewhere in middle of first class. It was way back in 1976. And I did leave the school in 10th class, it is 1986. So the major takeaway for me from the KVG setup was basically the schooling as usual was quite good. But then the cash, grade, set, the economic background, those are never in the picture. And even now, when I meet people and when I talk to them, this doesn't come into picture. I never ask anybody's cash or read or say. That was a major takeaway in a way. And the school was quite jovial and of course I got a small bald head and when I look back, then I think the credit I should give to Shantakumar who used to catch the hair and do good and all. So, yeah, even the corporal punishment like what we were talking about was quite prevalent at the time. We were quite afraid of some teachers and we had later with others. One of them whom I used to dread was the Abraham sir. He used to do this hair in a straight fashion on knuckles. On the other side, we had somebody like whom we used to treat as a saint, like Mother Teresa. She was Washington there. So later on, we had different teachers. Saraliship man. And yeah, of course, most of them I don't replace because you have come in different points of time. That's what teachers are concerned. Yeah, we had a great time and we enjoyed our life in schooling. And of course, one major drawback was most of the subjects were in Hindi, especially the social studies part. And so in a way, was not very keen on social studies. And one more drawback was basically I couldn't learn Telugu, which I always tried to do, but my wife tried teaching me, my mother tried teaching me, my kids, they also tried teaching me, but I couldn't learn it. So that's a drawback in a way. Of course, the teachers were dedicated and they knew that their jobs were not at stake. So they gave their best shot. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Last, I am taking the opportunity. I am Vishnu over here.
Hey, Vijay is here.
Vijay, come.
सभी लोग को एक के बाद ठीक है. I will just take 2-3 minutes, not more than that. Okay, I am Vijay B from class 12B. So I joined the school at 7th, and since then till 12th I was with AVG only and with all my good buddies there, and we grew together. The most memorable part of it is basically moving from 10th to 12th, which I could always remember. I failed in English and I was not good for anything but to go out of the school, but somehow at that time, if you fail in one subject, you are still allowed to get promoted. So I was promoted, I joined, I don't think so anyone could have got into so many streams. I started with BioMTC, Then biology madam, the first class I said, as soon as the class was over, I said, Patikwela ma'am. Then she pulled me in for 15 minutes and I had one good session of hers. And then after a week, I just changed from BMPC to MPC. From MPC, I changed it to MEC. From MEC, I changed it to Accounts, Commerce and Economics. This was my final destiny. And let me not call it decision, because after that we had only one history, economics and commerce. That was the last option which was left in the school. Otherwise, they would kick me out of the school also. So luckily, I stopped at that level, and maybe we were just discussing about destiny when Naresh spoke to me, and maybe it was my destiny to be with Durga Madam. And today, whatever I am here, standing in front of all of you, on the professional side, I could achieve some good things. I am a chartered accountant by profession. I have completed my cost accountancy. I have completed my company secretary course. And after CA, there's something like post-graduation, which we call it as management accountancy. And I've done that also, and luckily that proved to be a good one because I stood number 2 in India, and that allowed me to get a job in one of the good companies at that point of time, because that company used to take only rank holders in India. So that was one part of it. But Durga Madam, thank you. Thank you all of you. It's only because of you we could get into this account stream, and today I am with Arvindo as Senior General Manager of Finance and take care of the European operations. We have around 20 subsidiaries in Europe and just take care of their finance. But apart from that, that's it. Thank you.
Jayanti.
Just one incident I would like to share with you, which I have not shared even with my family members till now. So it was Malay sir's class. So every day, whenever a teacher enters, we need to stand and say good morning, wish them. So as the sir entered, everyone stood up. But I thought all thoughtful guys are there, so I will not be seen. I did not stand. And he just walked in and he stood, and he said, sit down, everyone stood. Everyone was sitting. Then sir made me stand. On the bench? Not on the bench. And 2 more guys. Then he started teaching. And in half the way, he asked me, do you know why I made you stand? I said yes. He said sit down. I remember every day because I am in the same profession now. I am a lecturer in commerce. So every day, whenever I enter the class, I see that every girl stands. And if anyone is sitting, I then just say that all the senior citizens need not stand to wish. So immediately the girls stand. And every day I remember Malay sir that I have done this wrong on that day. But every day I remember it for this. Thank you.
Durga want to speak to us.
Everybody was all maximum belong to commerce stream. I am extremely happy to listen about me. Most of the children talking about me, but I struggled so much in preparing for the classes. Because all my summer holidays, I used to prepare. All my summer holidays, I never enjoyed, never went for any trip or anything. I used to prepare only. The notes is still with me. Because the 12th class commerce syllabus belongs to MCOM that time. Whatever I studied in MCOM, I used to teach in the class. So because of that, I learned also so much. Because of God's grace, because of my hard work, you all came up. And my son also placed in a very good job now. He is working in Department of Atomic Energy, scientist. So this This is all due to my hard work and because of God's grace, I believe. Thank you so much. You have taken so much pain in arranging all the meeting and you have spent a lot of money. I thank everyone and all. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Madam, we need your blessings for the rest of our life also. So, a very small thing I want to tell. There was a small incident with me, especially with me, when I have been to number 2 school. I shared that also. And when I did my graduation from Nizam and I was just looking after my family business, for an instant, Sherry sir came to our house. I was just making my production work over there. He just asked me, who is that sitting beside you? I said, he's our worker, he's working with us. He said, what is the difference between you and him? If you want to work, why did you graduate with us? आपने क्यों पढ़ा graduation करने के लिए? आप फिर 10th class में रह जाते. On that day, I took the decision that I should start further. On that day only, I have applied for the set exam, and after that, I finished my MBA.